that for the show.
Don't save that for the show.
No.
I gotta turn off my furnace. What are we saving for the show?
I don't know.
I got a list of stuff.
All right, hello everybody.
Hello, my viewers.
Are we live yet?
Yeah,
Is it live time?
There's so many screens open.
live in a dive.
I got way too many screens open. Well,
Okay.
it's another Friday, guys.
Okay, there goes. Step on.
Welcome to the HVAC Overtime Show. If you guys didn't know, because now if you didn't know, might be something wrong with you because you did click a link that said HVAC Overtime on it and you came to the channel, so you're watching us. So you must obviously know you're here. So if you are here, welcome to the party. I know you guys all have HVAC and BS in your hearts, as do we, so we welcome you to the show. We got Susie in the audience, Big Dane. That little picture looks familiar, but I don't recognize that name.
Yeah, he used to be, what was his name? Fuck.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
Jason Johnson's here.
Well.
Chad from the group, which is cool. John Deere, Kubota.
Kubota?
A couple familiar faces. I've seen somebody from the UK is up in here. Astromanian. I don't know what that is. From Tamworth, UK, huh?
Speaking of the UK, I just ordered the LED flashing thingy that Clive created so I could put it together as a kit with my kids.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. The supercomputer, dude.
Yeah.
That's going to be an awesome project for you. I was planning to get it too, so let me know. It's going to take a lot of time, and that's something great to do with your kids and make them think and not play video games for once.
Really, if that goes well, I might do that too. I've been trying to find like a good, decent little thing me and my daughter can put together. I was thinking about like taking a package unit and bringing it home and like dismantling it and have her put it together, but you know.
Michael, sorry.
What's Hausch saying here? Looks Chris isn't pulling his weight again. Yeah,
welcome back,
Michael. It's kind of sad he's not pulling his weight again. But I mean, to be honest, you're gonna need a truck to pull his weight. So.
Oh my god.
I'm
Where are
saying
you,
he's
Chris?
fat.
Get back.
He's a big fat guy. He's getting fatter.
Oh my god.
I'm getting skinnier.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't hear anything about that. You're telling us about that before the show, and it's very frustrating to hear that, Adam.
I'm trying to get sponsored by Slim Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Woofler Master is here.
I'm gonna get sponsored by Slim to Fat.
What's going on?
Oh, we got Big Clive in the house. You know what?
Okay.
Almost forgot. We forgot to say hello to our number one fan, Randy, and his little buddy Luke. Hit the barks.
That there was a delay in that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
So we were talking about a lot of things leading up into the show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I brought this. I want to, usually I've been starting the show with a tool. I got this off some. It's used.
With all that noise, I was wondering, can you top it off and just give your desk a good hit, Joe? I want to hear the spring.
Jump it right over.
Let me get the screen here.
What is that? Is that a Milwaukee bottle opener?
I'm gonna try it out. We'll see how it goes. I also got you know what? Just for it's just for that time you need it. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about, guys. Like
if you don't know what that is, that's a Pro Press Milwaukee. That's the 12, the M12, right? Force Logic.
Yes.
All right.
M12 Pro
Michael
Press.
Hausch, I hope you get diabetes.
I got 2 extra iron.
Oh, look at that! Look at that fancy stuff, man.
For the iron press, because I have the copper.
How many jaws? What was the biggest jaw that came in it for copper again, Joe?
1.25 it goes up to 1.25.
Nice.
Milwaukee goes up to 1.25.
You know what I just thought of? Like if you're ever in your service van and you see a car accident, you should jump out with your Pro Press thing there. I'm like, hey, I got the jaws of life right here, and then go over there like try to cut the door off the car with that.
Nice. I was thinking,
I can't get it.
Nice.
I can't get it. Actually, I saw a car accident. I think it might have been the first time I've seen a car accident this close that I wasn't involved in. I was driving home, and a car in front of me passed like a line of cars. And as he was driving on the other side, a car up, I don't know, further up in the line also tried to pass, ran him off the road. He hit the ditch, flipped and rolled over. saw the whole thing. I pulled over, made sure everything was okay, but he was fine. He got ejected, walked away, and all that fun stuff. But I was thinking, like, if it was something serious, like I got all these cool tools I could bust out. Like, holy, I got my Sawzall, I got a hammer drill. You know,
Dave K.
cool. Save the day.
No, I agree. And sorry to change the subject, but I agree with you 100%. I had to actually printed it out because you did a poster, Adam, about that de-superheater. And,
can I ask my initial question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So this is probably a silly question. People in the chat are going to be like, "You're an idiot."
It's not silly.
You're stupid.
Do we need some background on this de-superheater?
Yeah. So let's
talk about some context.
I am quoting a job that's looking at potentially taking out 2 propane furnaces and 10 SEER condensers. I'm going to give him options for, he wanted geothermal, so we're looking at maybe doing 2 geothermal water to air units and then a water to water unit with a heat exchanger for the pool. But then I was thinking too, if we wanted to save a little bit money on price, we could do, one of those. I saw that they have kits, right, where you could hook it up and you could have a coaxial hooked to your condenser, regular air to air. If we do go heat pump or whatever. My question is, because a bunch of people were saying, yeah, it's just a de-superheater. And I've heard that term in geothermal and that, but
yeah,
why is it called de-superheating? Why is it de-superheater? That's what I want to know.
You would think it'd be called a subcooler or I don't know, what would you call that? Is it
like
a condenser?
Anything? Is it actually doing any sort of condensing?
It is. Well, yeah.
I gotta see how it's. I've never used one, but I'm imagining if you're pulling the heat out, you're connecting it to the hot gas, right? Before the condenser coil.
And dehumidification, the coaxial is a condenser. It's not a de-superheater. Well, it's a condenser.
What? Maybe there's like a term. I gotta Google. What's a what is the term?
But there's a condenser does 3 things. It de-superheats, condenses, and then subcools.
True.
So it'll have to de-superheat before it can condense, I guess. So maybe they're just taking like the one of the 3 things that it does. They're like, well, let's name it after this thing and make it confusing.
I'm just confused.
I just hate that word for it. That's all. Yeah. But anyways, I think it's a great idea, Adam. Okay, it doesn't change it to liquid. I gotcha. That's why they probably keep it as de-superheat. It just takes down the temperature a bit. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't actually fully condense. Michael, I clicked that link, and it's a pretty cool. He sent me a link. I think you've seen this, Adam, about that little thing he kind of designed or tweaked.
Yeah.
For you, but using it's the same thing pretty much. Your plate heat exchanger or heat exchangers in the unit, and he's using water as the median. I think it's cool, honestly, and that's why I messaged and being around dehumidification, and we all want dehumidification up here, especially we got, or maybe in Florida. Why put a separate dehumidifier or in line with your AC unit when just put a reheat coil, right? And you could almost modulate it in a way that it senses your room temp. Once you set that up, your room temp, and it could fluctuate how much to open the reheat coil to warm up your air for obviously better humidity.
I thought you guys up there would have really dry air.
No, we're humid. We got a lot of humidity up here.
Well, you're also a lot of your dehumidification stuff is because you work on like a lot of pool.
That's totally different.
Right.
I'm talking about in a split system though. That's not designed for taking out that latent heat. You know what I mean? You're doing both sensible and latent. And since you don't have a huge load like a pool or pharmaceuticals or whatever, it could do both if you're smart about it and your dew points and the temperature you're trying to reach, and it's all on the psychometric chart. Because your dew points. Yeah, go ahead. Psychometric.
So, do your guys' fancy houses have like indoor pools?
Which one? Mine?
Like the houses you can work on and crap.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of them do, and I put in a lot of Detron pool packs or Esco. I put in a lot of that stuff, but they're designed for an 80-degree Fahrenheit 50% relative humidity, they're not designed for sensible cooling. It will never happen. It's way too much. It's not designed for that. Yeah. So I'm thinking
these indoor pools that you guys work on, like who sets up the system for that? Who designs the system? Is it the architect, engineer, whoever like originally designed the house, I assume?
Well, I know because I know how big a room is. I have a general idea because I deal with these systems, what size goes what, like where. But there is grains of moisture and all that. You can size it up yourself. The engineer of the project will size it up. And
I would imagine like those systems just got to be just sucking moisture out of the air.
Sucking.
I mean,
we suck so much moisture out of the air. I insist to tell the customers to put it back in the pool. So your rate of evaporation, you don't have to keep on filling the pool every day or every couple of days. You know what I mean? Because you're evaporating water when you're
just have the condensate drain line like just right over to the pool edge.
Right.
But what about all the chemicals in the air? Are they just disintegrate those units with the chlorine and crap?
Oh, that's good.
No, because technically with a controlled environment, you shouldn't have chemicals in the air. It should be all control. Plus,
but your heat exchangers are. We were talking about this earlier in the week, Joe.
Yes, heat exchangers.
Like what? Are they titanium the ones you're using, or?
Well, yes, water for sure. You're always going to use. It's not titanium. Well, it depends. The auxiliaries, yes, are titanium heat exchangers, but in the condenser itself, in the unit itself, they're copper. But the coils are obviously all coated. They're all coated because you gotta have them coated. And what else? The coaxial condenser, I usually want to put a vented coaxial. So if just in case, water.
What is vented, Joe? What is vented?
Vented is like, say you have a coaxial condenser. You have, let's say, water in the outer tube and you have refrigerant going in the inner tube. Well, if the refrigerant, let's say maybe the water is hard, nasty water, it creates a hole. Well, water goes into your refrigeration side, your system's done. $80,000 unit, done. So what I do is, it's only a couple $100 more, maybe only $500 more when you're dealing with a unit that expensive, who cares? There's actually a vent in between them. So if one actually breaks, either the water side comes, whatever, water or refrigeration wall, there's a vent so it doesn't penetrate the refrigeration, or the refrigeration doesn't penetrate with the water, so your system is still safe. And that's the whole, and it doesn't take much.
Now, on the flip side, out here in Southern California, in our desert areas, and then also in Las Vegas, they actually have to cool the pools because it gets so hot that they'll actually have chillers that cool the pool off, so that way they can maintain 78, 80 degrees in that pool, because it just gets too darn hot out
this
there.
This is for like an outdoor pool.
Yeah, for the outdoor pools
Joe,
and the resorts.
That's like the poor neighborhood by Joe. They don't have outdoor pools by him. What are you talking about?
Drive by and laugh at him, throw pop cans.
It's funny because I'm glad Michael's here too.
Look at them pouries,
What I'm doing more of now, I don't know if Michael sees this a lot too, is for outdoor pools, I'm getting rid of those stupid boilers, those cheap ass water going through that boiler burner. It's not even a boiler, it's a heater, gas heater. And I'm just I'm insisting to put a heat exchanger, a nice titanium heat exchanger, because your chemicals, the water is just so, what's in it? This water, I don't know.
Chlorine.
Chlorine, chlorine, whatever.
Or chlorine or salt, right? That's the only two things. Yeah,
it's hard water, and to go through those heaters, they don't last. Or to go through those electric heaters, they don't last. So it doesn't take much. If you're using a boiler, let's say you want to do snow melt, just to size it for that pool as well. So, or if it's not sized for the pool, you can add it in, because in the wintertime, you're not using your pool, right? So
unless you live by you, Joe, right? When you're
unless you're the fancy people. Yeah.
Actually, there was one person in the that wanted his pool in the wintertime, outdoor pool, on at a constant warm temperature, just because he wanted to take a dip in the winter.
How much did that cost him?
Who knows?
Must be nice to be that rich, dude.
Who knows? But there was a backup setup, because, dude, as soon as that fails and it's not water, it's frozen. You're done. So there's a backup to a backup. Pipes going for an electric hookup. But yeah,
I want to know what your customers do for a living, Joe. I want that information.
And
I know a few of them. I'm not gonna say on air.
Are they
Well,
hiring?
Well, I know they're not air conditioning or refrigeration technicians. Let's just say that.
No,
No.
like entertainers,
No. What's up, Rick?
Ooh,
politicians,
Hey, Rick, HVACR survival in the house.
What's up, Rick?
CEOs.
I would just love to know how. And
Is it one of them
Michael-
Justin Trudeau?
No.
Did
And
they win
Michael
the
maybe
lotto?
chime in is how would you modulate that valve, or do you just divert it, like put strictly 100% to the reheat or 100% to that deheat superheater, or how would you control that modulation of that valve where to put the discharge heat? That's why I want to know, how would you control that?
That's what I was wondering. That's why I thought it was like Bob Vila or something. That they had they had like a little episode, and then Randy Ravioli said it was on This Old House. He told me.
Oh,
He said that was an
maybe.
old episode of This Old House, Adam. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I think
Maybe.
Randy confuses Home Improvement with that show sometimes.
yeah, maybe. You're right. It has to be balanced. I think if you were thinking what I'm thinking, I think it does have to be a 50-50. I can't do 100%, or maybe it's better just to have 50-50. Like I know in dehumidification, they don't design them anymore to do 100% heat on the pool. It's only 50-50. And they decide that it's more efficient, blah, 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 to have 50-50. And yeah, I think it's just less strain on the system, but whatever.
So,
So-
oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna. Change
No,
the
I was gonna
subject.
say, I when you said we're thinking the same thing, Joe, I was thinking about midgets, so I wasn't thinking about what you were.
See?
Gotcha.
I
Are you behind the
postponed.
gas station, Chris?
I postponed changing the subject and talking about something good so he could talk about midgets. Nice.
Yeah. No, I think you will be basing on your temperature for sure, because I think since your coil is, after the evap, I guess your relative humidity is gonna be changing, but your dew point and your whatever is gonna be staying this. Yeah, you're gonna have to. The only way to control that humidity is by heating the air after the evaporator for sure. And then you have to control that. You have to you just have to maintain that temperature. And I guess your coil temp. It's I don't know, man.
All right. So Joe,
I think I missed. Sorry to interrupt you, Adam, but I
As
think I
usual.
missed part of what you were saying, Joe. But with the reheat coil, we're just
Yes.
adding, sensible heat to the air, right? We're not actually adding any additional
Right.
moisture or anything.
Right.
that's the point.
Right.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cooler air is more dense. Remember that. So
So
gonna have more water.
back to Joe was talking about his new tool, the ProPress, right? I have a new tool, and I also ordered a new tool today, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh shit, I'm jealous.
What'd you
Yeah.
Well, first off, I have the new. We talked about this a little bit before, but now I have several jobs under my belt, so I could discuss it a little bit more. The new Fieldpiece 10 CFM vacuum pump.
That
Which-
pump is pretty cool. I've been using it quite a lot lately.
Chris
Was
is
that
like,
the VR78X
Yep.
Yeah, it's
WMVP
a VPX7, bud.
4911-721?
Niner.
So did you say what you got at him or what?
So yeah, the vacuum pump is awesome. I was kind of like questioning my thoughts on it. I'm still gonna make a video. I want to see my thoughts on it, but I'm excited. I've used it probably 7 or 8 times already. Awesome. Video
Nice.
coming soon. Second, the new tool I ordered today is the new True Flow Grid, which
Nice.
I am super pumped about. And I know
You could
Joe, you were talking about possibly picking one up yourself too.
Yes, I will be. I have to. It makes too much sense not to. And makes too much sense. I can't even say it. But yeah, you have to get it because honestly, it's going to make the job so much easier to know your CFM, your true CFM on that system, I think anyways.
Very excited. I can't wait till it comes,
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
So you can pre-order for anybody could pre-order or
I don't think they have it up for anyone quite yet, but I got a fancy email from TEC where I could order it, so I'm excited about that.
Fancy.
are you going to mention anything about that beta boy?
Beta?
Beta boy?
Beta
No.
cheese?
No?
Should I?
Yeah.
No.
What about the True Flow Grid?
I didn't even respond to them, Joe, yet.
Needs a battery.
Oh.
I say mention it, but whatever. Anyways.
Oh, there he goes. He's gone.
Where is that guy? I want to know what he was up to.
Oh, it's about time.
Dude,
Waiting for him to leave.
What?
All right.
All right.
No, he's dead.
He's out working. Yeah, I heard all the horrible things he said about me when I was gone last week.
So if I put my finger in here, I'm all good, right?
Do it.
Serious?
Put other stuff in there.
Yeah. I said put the half-inch jaws and put your willy in it.
Yeah, it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna do anything. You know what? I'm kind of.
You got
just
any walnuts?
Keep using it.
No.
Let's see if that works.
I'm kind of pumped actually for iron because it's gonna save my day sometime. Anyways, what have you guys been up to, man? Fuck.
A lot of different jobs this week, Joe. Just a lot of easy. This was an awesome week because I had a lot of easy change outs.
Like what?
Couple condensers only, condenser, coil, furnace, blah blah blah. Every week or every day this week it was something. Oh, he's home.
What up?
That's fast.
Yeah, I didn't hit as much traffic as I thought I was going to hit.
Holy crackers.
So you got your LaCroix you're sipping on.
Yep.
LaCroix.
Still in my work clothes. I'm all dirty.
Drinking my LaCroix
My work
water.
boots.
We like him dirty.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Hey, here's a fun story. Troy Belding, just out of a random arrow, wants to know how did we connect with each other?
Every day this week it was something. Oh, he's home. Turn it
How
off.
did? That was me. My bad.
Rookie.
I had to
We
pull up the chat. So
connected
wait,
with
someone
each
asked
other.
how we connected?
Yeah, Troy Belding.
Bill-
How did you guys connect with each
Just
other?
way back,
Bill-
all of us knew of each other. I think
Well,
in the day when,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bill, the way I connected with Bill was Bill just randomly showed up out of nowhere. He was nowhere to be
Yeah.
seen on Facebook or
I would just start trolling you
YouTube or
guys.
anything. And he just started talking everywhere. And he started posting videos. And then I made a video like that kind of acknowledged Bill in one of my videos. And
And then the rest is history because I just blew up after that.
yeah.
Now I live off of YouTube money. None of that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even make videos no more. I've given up on life.
Me,
How did you guys meet me?
back when you had like 3 subscribers,
Yeah.
Mhm.
we were your
Oh, did I come
fanboys.
on the show and you guys
Yeah.
launched me into
We gave you
stardom?
the bump. Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah. We felt kind of bad because, you're like the lonely kid at the lunch table. And we're like, come on over here, bud.
Yeah.
Sit with us.
So I remember, I think Bill and I exchanged some emails or something like that. Maybe he emailed me or something, but I know
I did.
Adam and Joe from the Shop Talk stuff. That's where I think I picked you guys up and
I
then
don't
kind
remember
of started
that.
talking. You don't
Actually,
remember that?
before Shop Talk, I talked to you, Chris. You like I emailed you and asked you advice on audio equipment, and you're like,
okay.
hey, do you want to like go do a Zoom call and we could talk about it? I'm like, all right. I don't know what Zoom is or whatever, but
I
we
don't know
did
what
it.
Zoom is. Shit, I remember like one of my first videos. I think I sent it to Chris. And I said, "Hey, love your videos, man. Can you check this out if you have time? Just like let me know what you think." And like he totally berated me, but after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do better, and I did. And I think
I don't
ever
know
since then, we just kind of talked because he's pretty open about it and he's willing to help. So I'm like, dude, if this dude wants to help me, give me advice. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna take it.
With the with Bill, I don't know if people have been watching long enough to know what Bill and I did because Bill and I were talking behind the scenes for a while,
yeah.
and then I just approached Bill one day and I was like, "Yeah, I got this idea, dude," and nobody knew it was coming.
That was awesome.
And then I gave Bill, or I brought him on my show and I let him just do my show without telling anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill just did his awkward, random. It was hilarious, actually.
It was a great time.
What would you say, Bill? I remember the one portion where you said I figured out Chris's password and I logged in. It's Fairy Princess or something like that.
Yeah.
Unicorn Princess.
Unicorn
And
Princess.
then he proceeded to be like, "All right, I got nothing else to talk about," and he started to do a Rubik's cube.
Yeah. That was a good time.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I remember one of my favorite moments of trolling Adam and Joe back in the day was see, Joe used to wear V-necks all the time, and I would always ride him about that. I think I said something one time. I'm like, you know what? I bet Joe's got like a million little cloth triangles hanging out in his house somewhere from all the V-necks he makes.
And I've always supported Joe with his V-necks because I wear V-necks all the time. So
And now Joe doesn't wear V-necks anymore.
Okay. It's like man cleavage.
I wear my man cleavage all the time. My wife, she goes nuts because I have these shirts that have like 3 buttons right here, and I'll leave all the buttons like a Guido and like walk around. And she's like, no. She's like, button that up, and I'm like, why? You don't want to see my chest hair? She's like, nobody wants to see that.
Caps here.
It's very offensive hearing Guido for Joe. You know,
I'm gonna invent V waist pants. Like right at the front, you got a V that comes down. All your junk.
This is gonna be a puff of pubic hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's no different than the way the kids walk around with their pants around their knees. There's this guy that walks down the street and his pants are literally at his knees.
now that we were just talking about Italians, I have a feeling, Joe, when you go to the beach, are you one of those guys rocking the Speedo with a gold chain? Is that you?
No.
Like all oily and stuff.
Though.
Come on, I can see you doing
oily
that
right now.
That is funny. But I've wore shorts that were pretty snug and that were pretty, showing off some leg. You know what I mean? In the past.
Okay,
I don't think I'll do it anymore.
Package.
moving on.
Yeah. It's all about the bulge, guys. All about the bulge. But yeah,
It's all about the front bump.
What else?
It was like a super busy week for me this week, dude. Just freaking calls like late nights and emergency service calls. And
Where were you right now?
I'm thankful. I had an AC service call. Like at 1:00 in the afternoon, you go out there and I'm gonna make the video for Sunday because I'm gonna go ahead and edit it out and do it. So I'm not gonna give too much away, but
Gotcha.
it was kind of an interesting one because it was one thing. You go there and you're like, hey, this is the problem, and it was really obvious. But then you fix that, and then it went down a path and went deeper and deeper and deeper. So pretty cool. But yeah, it'll be Sunday's video for sure. So
A huge picture diagnosis.
And then you know what I'm doing tomorrow, guys?
But
Can you guess?
Paddleboard, and I'm guessing.
Yep, I'm going paddleboarding tomorrow. Yep. Taking the kids, taking the wife. We're gonna go paddleboarding, and then
Sounds like a lot of work.
yep.
it is gonna be a lot of work for me. And everybody else is gonna, I'm gonna get up super early, like at 5 a.m, load all the paddleboards on the truck, load up the truck, all that stuff, and then wake up the kids and the wife, and then they'll get in the truck, and we'll drive all the way there, and I'll do it all, and then rinse and repeat. So.
It's just a thought just came to me. I'm thinking of talking about this desuperated coil. I remember this big Ahon unit.
Did you call it an Ahon?
Aeon, sorry.
Ahon.
Ahon. And I remember them putting a coil before the evaporator, thinking, what are they trying to do here? They're not going to dehumidify with it before the coil. And I took it out because they're having issues. I stopped the water going to the reheat, to a reheat coil, and then my coil started freezing up. So now I think I know why they had it. So this was in the past. I just put freeze stats on the suction side, and it worked because it's way oversized. Whatever, there's 2 units like this, but anyways. But now I know why. It just came to me why they had that coil. Thinking before the maybe just to lower freeze up.
Call back.
No, my system's working, but it's a huge area and it's way oversized. It's a huge Ahon air handler with like 4 banks of evaps. Like, anyways. So yeah, so that was just a thought.
It gives me goosebumps in my swimsuit parts. Just want to throw that out there.
Interesting.
Your
Speedo. There's this YouTuber that I watch. His name's Jamie O'Brien. He's in Hawaii. He's a surfer. And on his merch line, the dude sells Speedos and he rocks them all the time. And every time you're like, no, come on, dude.
I can't look away.
Have you guys ever, like, Joe, I know you have. You guys ever wear Speedos?
No.
I would for my kids just to piss them off but my wife wouldn't let me buy them. But I would do it
like
just for my kids.
Like when they go to prom, I don't know how old your kids are, but
I'm totally rocking that
do
one.
it. Like greet their prom date in a Speedo. Just come right out with a Speedo.
I'm totally looking forward to that whole awkwardness of greeting dates and stuff like that. Like, I'm ready for it. Let's do it. I'm going to be that cool dad that makes his daughter feel completely uncomfortable.
I'm not good. See,
I
thought about this.
It's like the Brady Bunch at your house, though, Chris. It's completely different.
That's true. That's true.
I have 2 teenage daughters that are blonde hair, blue eyes, dude. I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble.
Master race.
Yeah.
I thought about this in length this week for some reason, and I've come up with a great idea. I just need to hire an actor So when my daughter's prom date finally comes to the door, I'm going to invite him in, all natural and normal. I'm going to have my Glock on me, of course, but I'm going to leave a room purposely open with a little bit of light in there, and I'm going to have a paid actor, probably a paid actor anyway, with makeup on, so he looks like he's all beat up, tied to a chair, with all sorts of like leather things around him and stuff. Just strolling by like it's nothing.
It'd be funny if you say, like when the kid wants to go to the bathroom or something, you send him to the wrong room, and when he opens the door, there's a dude chained up like he's your man toy. Yeah. He's like your man toy there with a ball gag in his mouth.
Then he comes out and like, you ever watch Pulp Fiction?
Oh, there's so much fun in this stuff. I love tormenting my daughters, so it's gonna be awesome.
And then I just knock him out and tie him up in the basement so they can't go.
I don't know about you though, but like, see, my daughters are older, so I have one turning 15, which means she's gonna start like practice driving and stuff. So we have to start like thinking about getting her a car and all that crap.
That's scary.
Oh, dude, that's crazy thinking about that. Like, it's interesting.
On her own in a car.
Yeah, she's a sophomore now. Like, what happened to her freshman? Her freshman year was just that weird COVID year, like it went by. But yeah, she's going to be like, hey, can I use the car? Can I go? And it's like, oh crap. Remember the stuff you did when you were 15 or 16? I did some horrible things.
Yeah, me too.
There's no way I'm going to let my daughter do that crap. I don't know if I can control it, but oh my gosh.
Chris,
yeah,
I was going to say, Bill, what'd you work on this week, bud? We didn't hear. Did anything interesting or what?
Too crazy. I did work on the dirtiest ice machine I have ever encountered my entire life. Absolutely 1,000,000% the dirtiest one. I bet you it's the dirtiest one you guys have ever seen. I don't know if I sent you guys pictures earlier, but like for protection of my customer, I can't really post them online. But it was so filthy. So I opened this thing up and it works fine. Everybody's using it, but they, this company wants me just to kind of give it an eye over, check everything over, make sure it looks good, the whole 9 yards. So I go there and open the cover up, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm just staring at it because it's so dirty. The water trough looks like a mud puddle. Like there's barnacles on the water distribution tubes. I'm like, it looks like it's been underwater for like 20 years. I'm like, this is amazingly horrible. Like it's its own ecosystem inside here.
Were the ice cubes coming out clear?
Yeah, I mean, clear-ish. Like you could tell it was ice, but you couldn't see through it. It was kind of cloudy, but I mean, it wasn't terrible. Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Looking at the water trough and like looking down inside of it and just seeing like puddles of black stuff and like floating around in the water. I'm like, how is that not frozen into the ice cubes? Honestly,
right. I always thought the same.
As I got the door open, people are coming like, hey, can we still use that? And I look at him like, you want to use this? Like, you fucking see that, right?
Yeah.
Like that little thing there just moved. Like, I think that's a snail in there.
What did you use to clean it, Bill?
Oh, fuck, clean it, dude. I'm like, you need all new parts.
Oh,
the best thing.
Water distribution tube, thickness probes, like anything I could remotely. I took everything off there except the evaporator plate. I'm like, you need all new stuff. This is amazing.
Yeah, when it comes to those nasty machines, I go old school and I'll actually use bleach. That's what we used to use to sanitize ice machines all the time. It doesn't clean calcium, but it sanitizes. But people have been scared to death of bleach. They think they're going to die. And it's like, most people don't realize that the sanitizing solution that they put on everything in restaurants that you sanitize your, like they're a form of chlorine basically. So it's the same thing. As long as you mix it right. That stuff will clean everything. And if you use bleach and you let it circulate, what you'll find is the crap that comes out of the tubes is nasty. Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Breaks down. I have a video. I don't know what it's titled,
tubes are real bad.
But I have one of those fitting brushes and I push it up into the thing and I pull it down and it's like a poop stick that came out. Like it was just nasty, dude.
What exactly is a poop stick anyway?
Dude, I gotta pull it. I wish I could pull it up right now. I'll have to show it to you guys later. But yeah, I have a video where I take a fitting brush. It's a nylon fitting brush and I shove it up into the tubes of the ice machine. And then when I pull it out, no, it was a Manitowoc. When I pull it out, it was like all black and like it all stuck to the nylon brush. And I was like, there's a poop stick. And that was like, for the longest time, one of my most popular videos. It got like circulated outside of the HVAC community.
So My question is, like, I've never worked on an ice machine, but I watch a bunch of you guys that do, and they don't seem fun to clean. Like, every video I see, it's like, okay, I'm gonna be here for a couple hours now, taking this thing apart.
No, it's if you're gonna clean it, like if you're gonna clean a Hoshizaki ice machine, first off, every manufacturer out there like tells you, oh yeah, our ice machines can be cleaned in like 45 minutes. That's baloney. It's not true. There's a quick cleaning that just like you circulate some stuff and call it a day. But if you tear those machines apart, pretty much every ice machine out there is going to be a minimum of 3.5, 4 hours minimum to 6 hours. So when you go to a typical restaurant that has 2 ice machines stacked next to each other, you're there for at least 8 hours, tearing them apart, cleaning them, sanitizing them.
And you know what this one had too, Chris? I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it had its own little Manitowoc like automatic cleaning system.
Yeah, it's
like
called the AUX. AUC.
Yeah, the AUX. AUC.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've ever seen that too.
Yeah, so basically, again, it's one of those things where Manitowoc marketing people said, hey, we got an idea. Let's put an automated cleaning thing so the restaurants don't have to clean the machines. No, it just basically multiple times it circulates cleaner through the machine and like does the rinse and sanitizing process. But it doesn't.
You know, at this location had 2 ice machines, and the first one I condemned because the nickel coating on the evaporator plate started to blister and crack and boil, open up and everything. And I was kind of thinking, like I at the time, it didn't occur to me to go in and check the programming of it to see how often it was set to circulate that chemical through there.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if maybe, again, it's 12 years old, so I guess it might not be the case. But I was wondering if maybe that could have sped up that process.
Sorry,
because the cleaner they had in there, I didn't say Manitowoc on it. I don't know what kind of cleaner it was, but
you could put any cleaner in the AUX thing. I've never installed one or used one. A lot of the Manitowoc machines now have UV lights built into them, which actually do help. It has a little pump that blows the air across, and it helps to keep the slime down.
I took it out and filled it with hot pee.
Also, it just wants air to go bypass. Like
no, it's a UV light. It runs. It just runs air. It pulls air from the machine and runs it across the UV light and just circulates it.
Makes sense.
And helps to do that.
You know what else I ran into this week? I couldn't get my torch lit one day. 45 minutes I spent trying to light a torch, and then it was like a series of unfortunate events. But I couldn't get my torch lit. I ran out of oxygen, got new oxygen, still couldn't get the stupid torch to light. Every time I would light it up, it would work. The flame was set properly, and then all of a sudden it would just start like chattering and it would just blow itself out for some reason. So I don't know if I have a regulator issue or a check valve inside somewhere that's failed. Not real sure what's going on, but that was super frustrating. And then after I finally got it to light long enough to actually braise something, I had my rosebud tip on there, and I set my rosebud tip down. And I don't know how this happened, but I set it down in a way that it was resting. The tip of it was resting on a PVC fitting.
Yeah.
So it melted the PVC fitting into the rosebud tip. So now I need a new rosebud tip.
Oh,
because it's full of plastic.
Gotcha.
That's fun.
It's really
All right.
stupid.
Adam, can you do a screen share real quick?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to do a screen share. Hold on a sec. Let me pick the right screen.
Uh-oh.
All right. Tell me when it's on.
Oh.
All right. So check this out. So I just forwarded to the clip. That's fine. I just forwarded to the clip, and I'm going to play it right now. I'm going to pull the nylon brush out right now. Just the sensors submersed. And the same thing with the water. This was before I was working with Viper. Here it goes.
Hey, press pause for a second.
Brush. There's the Granger part number. Watch this. This thing's going to be nasty. This never gets cleaned. Look at that. Dinner.
Oh, good.
Yum. There's the other side. I'm going to grab it or you're going to get a mouthful. Oh, yeah.
Yummy.
So it's not going to get too much better than that. Yeah. All right, you can turn that off.
I like the way you
that is a
way you
proof
do
statement,
that.
my friend.
That's cool how you do that.
So that machine, that was a multiple thing. They called me about a water leak, and the way that the people had piped the drains, they piped the drains wrong, so it was sloped in the wrong direction. So it started as repiping the drains, pulling the machines out, then cleaning them, and it was just nobody ever cleans them right. These things are nasty. Nuts.
That is.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody really ever does clean those properly.
No.
I mean,
Go ahead.
a majority of these places where I go and I do clean these and I find them disgusting, they're like, oh yeah, our maintenance guy comes in once a month and puts it in self-cleaning mode. But he doesn't actually add anything to it. He just, hits the little clean button and walks away and says, yeah, you're good to go.
Mouthfuls.
Yep.
I was just, yeah.
Go
You
ahead.
know what? I got
No,
I got something really important to talk about when you're done, Joe.
What's that?
But you know what you got to talk about too, that thing that you were dumbfounded about that you called me about that.
Oh yeah, that's on my list
Do
too.
that.
Yeah.
Get that
Do
on.
that. Do
Go
that
ahead,
now.
First, no, before we get to Chris's story that I called him about, because that's much better. So I had Chick-fil-A today, right? I'm pretty sure it was the first time I've ever had Chick-fil-A. I know that might sound weird to some people, but first time I ever had Chick-fil-A today. I want to say, like, I honestly don't get it. Like,
It's okay. I had a hard time with Chick-fil-A for a very long time too.
I don't
I have
understand.
come
Like,
around, but I'll tell you what I like. Go ahead.
there was 793 people in this line, and they
Yeah.
had like 15 staff people out there running cars, taking orders. Like, and I get this sandwich. I'm thinking, oh man, this is going to be amazing. And it's like some sort of like a Hawaiian sweet roll bread with a chicken fillet and pickles on it. I'm like, this is it. This is what everybody's freaking out about.
I think it's
So-
their sauce.
It was good,
It's
but
the sauce. It's the sauce that you need to get the next time you go, give it another shot. First off, give it another shot. Get just chicken nuggets, regular chicken nuggets. They're freaking amazing. And then for the sauce, get the honey barbecue sauce. And it's in a little ketchup packet, and it's like on point, dude. I go there just for that sauce.
I'm not a big sauce guy,
And
I guess.
well, one of the cool things about Chick-fil-A too, it's not my favorite, but I like chicken nuggets. That's pretty much it, and a breakfast biscuit or whatever. But the sauces though, so if you go before COVID, if you go in the restaurant, they would have just sauces on the counter. You could grab like a handful of buffalo wing sauce and different. Then you could all kinds of different stuff on your sandwich.
Just take them home with you.
Sure, whatever. Put them in your
Nice.
drawer.
Well, since I don't know what Chick-fil-A is,
Wait,
what was the other story?
Okay, I guess
We don't have them. So, anyways,
Yeah. So no, the other story was I had learned about a HVACR system. It's a little reaching cooler at a customer's place. I don't want to say the name, but it's how do you describe this thing? It's like a 2-door reaching cooler on one side. It's got a cold rail up top. It's got a built-in like hot well or 2 hot wells maybe, and then it's got a spot for a flat top griddle too. Like it's
just a custom countertop with a refrigeration
crazy
machine. Yeah.
And what I found out is that it actually has glycol circulating in the cold rail in the box as well. It blew my mind. It blew my mind to the point where I'm like, the only person I know that knows anything about HVACR is Chris. So I had to call Chris. I'm like, is this real? Am I in a dream?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
He set me straight. But I still don't. I mean, I still don't. I kind of understand it because you explained it basically that it maintains a better temperature. Like there's less temperature swing when you're circulating glycol instead of the refrigerant cycling on, cycling off sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Did you ever work on any of the HVACR regions with the refrigerated pan chillers that had a fan motor before?
Yes.
Okay. The number one problem with the HVACR regions, they were the game changer when they came to market. They came out in the mid 90s and they pretty much owned the major restaurant chains. As far as the refrigeration, everybody was buying their equipment, but they had some huge flaws where the cold rails or the pan chillers up top would freeze up, and they would have a 4-inch cavity and they're completely frozen with ice, and the fan motors would fail and drains would plug up. And that was their downfall. They kept the best temperatures and they maintained food, amazingly, and they would work in warm kitchens too. But
was that a
then they came out
HVACR, the one video that you tore apart, Chris, where the whole thing bulged? There's a bulge.
Probably. I've done a lot of those things. It probably was. Bill, did you watch any of the videos on my channel yet? The HVACR Blue ones?
Not yet. I haven't gotten
So
around to it
the
yet.
HVACR Blue, for those that aren't watching, if you guys don't know, it's a reach-in cooler, okay? But what they do is it's basically a chiller, and it has a condensing unit, and then the refrigeration lines, you have a liquid line coming off the condensing unit, goes to an expansion valve, and then it goes right into a flat plate heat exchanger. And the flat plate heat exchanger is basically on the other side of it is glycol, and it just cools a secondary fluid, and then they pump the glycol with a little circulator pump into the bottom section where they keep the food in the drawers and whatever, and then it goes up to the cold rail, and then it keeps all the pans up in the cold rail, and then it comes back to the little pump, and it's got a little reservoir. they take forever to come down to temperature. That's what I was telling Bill. When
Yeah,
when
like
you start them
45
up,
minutes.
like 45 minutes for it to come down to temp, but it takes forever to come up in temperature the way that it works. So they eliminated all the plugged up drains, the fan motors failing, all that crap, and then now they just circulate glycol through the top.
So wait a minute. Sorry, because I've never seen one of these before. TX valve, and then what? Say that again.
a flat plate heat exchanger.
Okay.
It's just a heat exchanger.
Oh, okay.
It's a little stainless steel heat exchanger with
Gotcha.
2 tubes going in one side, 2 tubes going the other side, and it just
Yeah.
cools the secondary fluid.
Yeah, it just
It's-
cools the glycol.
I mean, that
Yeah.
seems
It-
pretty neat.
It seems
water.
so overly complicated for what it's doing. Like
Kind of is.
it's just temporary. It's just temporarily storing the food. Like it's a reach-in cooler, so you're always taking the food out of there.
Yeah, but
So
they
it's
don't.
like-
That step back from that one. There's not a restaurant that I know of that takes the food out of the reach-ins. They leave it in there all the time. So
Yeah,
they don't.
probably
They
true,
don't.
too.
They leave them in there all the time. But still, it's
Do they?
it's a cool thing. I mean,
And would you
it
say they
works.
cost like 20 grand?
Yeah, they're like 20 grand, dude, compared
That's
to
crazy,
like
man.
an
Like a
equivalent-
Randell or a Dellfield or
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts how much they cost.
Are they getting some kind of incentive, like government incentive, because they're not using the whole, I
No.
guess, refrigerant
No.
using water? No.
it's the craziest thing
It
I've ever
still
heard.
has refrigerant.
Yeah,
It
But it's
still
using,
has
it's less
pound.
smaller amount of refrigerant.
smaller
right?
amount.
Yeah, smaller amount of refrigerant, and it's contained into a tiny little workspace that's super
Right.
hard to get into, super
Yeah.
hard to work on.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of videos showing them.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that because you also said it's incredibly hard to actually add glycol to the system.
Yeah, you got to come up with an intricate funnel system because their little reservoir is in a weird place to where you can't get a bottle on top of it, and you can't even put it. You have to buy like a funnel with a spout and like pull it out and pour the glycol in. I've done some hokey things, like I'll go buy or I'll go get. What did I do one time? I think I got something. Oh, they had like cups, and I put I cut a hole in the bottom of a cup and like put it over the reservoir and then poured it into the cup. Like I look like Beverly Hillbillies back there filming.
Chris, John wants to know
Yeah.
what is the glycol temperature set point on those?
Typically the set point, you don't go any lower than 26 degrees, if I remember right. And then
Wow.
you can,
See?
they only give you like a 10-degree swing, but the lowest you can go is 26 degrees. So
Well, that's pretty cool. That low. That's another cool thing.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
you can, you sometimes have to adjust them up because if they leave a lot of food in them for a long period of time and they don't move through the food, it'll start to freeze the food. So you've got to, you have to play with the temperatures and set them higher, but it eliminates the need.
Sound more reliable.
For the most part, like it still does defrost, but it doesn't do as many defrosts, and it keeps the refrigerant out of the food space, so the refrigerant leaks are dramatically reduced, dramatically. So yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I would still say though. I mean, for that price tag, like I could buy 5 Randell units and just change them out every 2-3 years when they start breaking. And
I love them because the number one failure is the temperature controllers and the sensors, and it's a nice little sale every single time you do one. I think the temp controls, I think by the time you do temp control and sensors, like all in one job and labor and everything, it's like $800 you charge them.
Nice.
And so it's like, and the cool thing is the customer actually fixes them because they paid almost 30 grand for them.
that's
So
true. Yeah, you're
you
not
could
going to
actually
repair
that thing.
for that kind of price, though, you could just hire a minimum wage guy and have him run back and forth and add ice in a bucket to a.
There's
yeah, health
20
department don't
grand.
like that.
You know how many cheeseburgers you have to sell just to make 20 grand?
That's
and
what I
then
was
spend it
thinking.
on a
I always wonder about that. These restaurants and that, where they just build a restaurant out of nowhere on a main drag. The buildings cost a ridiculous amount of money. HVAC, refrigeration costs a ridiculous amount of money. It's like you have to make millions of dollars back.
like
to break
this
even.
restaurant chain alone. Like the buildings are monstrous. They got their own server rooms. They got beer walk-ins, of course. Like the make line is like they have at least the one I'm familiar with. They must have 6 of these little coolers with the glycol stuff in them. I mean, like at least 5. We'll say just 5. You're talking 20 grand a pop. You got 5 of these things.
So here,
Shoot.
real quick, Adam, approve a screen share.
quickly too. Chad was asking in chat, can a leaking evap in a reach-in contaminate the food? And if it does, what can happen to the people who eat.
Yeah,
You know, like,
great question. I'm going to answer that in just a second. Let me click this over real quick. I'm just going to show a quick little clip.
I'm going to say, if you can just email me that question, I'll get back to you.
Email us.
So this is what I see on the display when I first walk
So
up.
I'm going to open it up and you guys will see. So that display's
Go through it all.
got water damage, but they keep the food up in the top right here.
The tomatoes are just like,
And this is freezing the food because the sensors failed in this one.
getting too cold on everything.
Hey, Chris.
Now this is the condensing unit section down here. So this is all where the refrigerant's at. It's contained in this little space down in here.
I got no response out of my display.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
And then there's a heat exchanger on the other side of that wall.
Just kind of doing
Oh, that's
Little
right. Yeah, you
control
said these are
section.
backwards.
that
I tell you,
electrical connector on that.
Any-
Yeah,
power
it's
line.
tight. The
any package,
TXVs are really difficult to get
A
into.
little hot.
any package unit that is using a plate heat exchanger for chill loop or whatever, at least like you said, your leak is contained.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit clusterfuck inside the cabinet.
Yeah.
But at least your leak is there. So
Yep. So as far as the refrigerant goes, yes, 100% the food is contaminated. Our refrigerants have cancer-causing substances in them. Depends on what refrigerant you're using. We don't use
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
chlorinated refrigerants anymore.
It
But
sucks that you're in California because our refrigerants don't do that here.
No,
Yeah,
not here in
exactly.
Michigan either.
yeah, whenever if you really think about it, whenever there's a leak on a reach-in
Sounds like
cooler,
new
it's
cars.
in a tiny enclosed space, and there's typically about a pound and a half of refrigerant, and I'd say 90% of the time the leaks are in the evaporator section where the food's at. So yeah, you're totally covering the food with
Right.
refrigerant. And
Mhm.
I mean, what's the implications of that? Is someone going to die from it? Maybe 50 years from now, I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Sounds
But
like
yeah.
a science experiment. We should try.
Yeah,
sounds
as
like
long
a
as you-
science
As
experiment.
long as you cook it thoroughly enough and you boil that refrigerant out of the hamburger or the soup or whatever it's in.
Yeah, you need to
Good.
superheat the food a little bit.
Let's just say that you really don't need to worry about the refrigerant leaking on the food if you just look at what's in the top of those drawer units that you guys
that's
don't
a good
see.
point.
If it has drawers on it and they keep liquids in the drawers, when they slam those drawers, it hits the ceiling and it just sits there, and then it'll start to grow. And just there's nothing worse than like getting your head into a box to try to find a leak, and you turn over and you look up and you're looking at
Ugh.
stalactites of freaking liquid, and you're like, and then you go in there to try to braise and shit's dripping on you. You're like, nah, this thing needs
Yeah.
to be cleaned.
You got more things to worry about.
Yeah.
Jason Johnson's mentioning something about Prop 65. Is that the warning that it shows everywhere?
Prop 65, you can say thank you very much to California for that one. But yeah, it's basically a disclaimer that especially in the state of California, but it's moving elsewhere. But it's a disclaimer that anything that potentially could cause cancer or harm, you have to put a sticker. You have to notify customers. So every restaurant, there's a place card that says Prop 65 warning, substances known to the state of California are in here, that kind of crap that causes cancer. And
I've noticed recently, though, less of the crap that I buy has that sticker on it. So either things are not causing cancer anymore, or
I don't see it.
people in Illinois just don't buy California products. I could see it going either way.
Keep California out of my state.
True.
yeah, the weather though, man, gotta love the weather. Although we're running out of water out here, so the forecasts show that basically in 10 years everybody's gonna have to move out of California
Yeah.
Really?
if the drought keeps going, because the Rockies didn't get a lot of snow this last year, so the snowpack. So California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah pretty much all get their water from the Colorado River, which comes from the Rockies. And the Colorado River fills Lake Powell and Lake Mead, and both of those are extremely low. Lake Mead, it is Hoover Dam. That's like real popular, Hoover Dam.
Mhm.
They actually had to build a new intake tower because the 2 or 3 that they had were reaching the bottom to where they couldn't pull anymore. So they built a new intake tower at the deepest part of the lake so they can pull from the deepest part. But if they don't get rain in the Rockies and snow soon and start filling that up, they said the levels in Lake Mead are the lowest it's been since they filled it in the 40s. Like ever.
You guys are going to start stealing water from us, aren't you?
We are. We're going to
Okay.
start stealing water from everywhere. I don't know why they don't figure out the desalinization stuff, but that's a whole nother topic.
I'll trade you lake water, Joe, for a t-shirt.
No, we'll start mailing Chris bottles of water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll go in my yard. I'll dump out a bottle of water in my yard. I'll just dump it out. I hope it gets to you.
Yeah.
Trickle its way down. The trickle down effect.
I was gonna hit trickle down effect. I was gonna ask before we end here. Are you gonna get one of those Zoa thingies, Adam, or what?
Oh yeah, I've been
Oh,
wanting
candles
to.
out.
Yeah.
Is that the thing that's going to get rid of the candle wax for Jim or whatever? The candle smell? Or
Oh yeah.
Candle wax. Yeah, no, it looks super cool. I just need to psych myself up to spend the money on it. It's not that much money, but
Well, how much are they? How much are they?
a couple $100.
Oh, okay.
here's my problem. I want one too, but I still have a Sensi Predict sitting right here that I haven't installed. So
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people right now. Probably any Sensi Predict fans.
well, I'm going to say that I've read some dissension in the ranks about Sensi Predict too. In one of the Sensi Predict group, there was a bunch of drama going on in there.
Really?
What was the drama?
About one of the guys that installed it on his own home, and he was having nothing but connectivity issues, Wi-Fi issues, and
Oh.
constantly
The liar.
whatever.
So I installed one on a crazy system that the ductwork is undersized, very low airflow.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any codes. It's not telling me anything's wrong.
So you look like a jackass right now, right?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Not real happy with the whole thing because I was like, this thing's gonna be throwing codes left and right. It's gonna be awesome.
Because it was oversized, that system, right?
Right.
If that's what I'm thinking of.
But it has a high delta across the coil. That's what I don't understand. And it tells you when I go in and look at it. We could probably pull it up right now and I'll show you. Well, it's cold outside, so he's not using it. But
Oh.
I don't understand. It just says yes, air conditioning check. Okay, connected check. Okay, I'm like, I guess it's connected. I don't know. So I don't know what's predicting, but it's not predicting the problem that I'm
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not predicting the
The
future.
jury's out. I'm going to install one on my house, and then I'll see. So,
What does this Zoa do anyways? Like, what is it?
it's
show?
it's supposed to be the newest, baddest, coolest, most
Right.
popularest indoor air quality monitor, basically.
it's like all
in
the
a cheaper package.
all the cool people are using it.
So I guess it monitors your relative humidity and what else?
It's kind of like Measure Quick of air quality monitors.
It is a laser particle counter.
Oh,
And
it tells
I'm
you when
trying to
your air's
remember yeah, I'm trying to remember all of the little things that it tells you, but it does quite a bit. And they're actually coming out with a new version where you could control something with it, like a relay hooked up to it. So you can control a fan, you can control
Or you can put
ventilation, whatever you want to do. You can control something with.
I listened to Brian has a podcast with the guys from whatever the name of that company is, and it's a
Even?
pretty cool podcast. It's a cool concept, like Adam said, if they see a problem, then they can. So the podcast, they were kind of talking about like how everybody's throwing these air quality devices, UV lights, whatever at things, and what are they doing to the air? And the guy on the podcast was saying like, well, what if we only have to turn that on when it's needed? So they use their air quality monitor thing and only turn on whatever, indoor air quality cleaner crap or whatever when it's only needed instead of
Or-
running it 24/7.
or like maybe fresh air or something if you need
Yeah.
fresh air for
Yeah.
for humidity control. That's pretty cool. And you know what? The guys on it, which is cool, is that I guess they decide to go in on it. Whoever it was, Jim, Mike, and I forget the other Nate. They're gonna make it good. Like if
Wait, what are you talking about? I think you're talking about something different.
I'm talking about Zoa,
Is that Jim, Nate?
Yeah.
and who?
Bergman.
Haven. Zoa.
Did they?
Isn't it
I didn't watch the video. I meant to watch it, but I skipped over it. I'm doing a lot of stuff
Yeah, I
these days.
believe-
But
I believe that's the one.
What are they
Um,
doing? What are they doing with it, Joe?
Well, they're gonna be doing all this. Like I guess they're gonna be monitoring and seeing how they can improve it. From my understanding,
You're talking about Jim now. Okay, the video that Jim released. I was a little
All right.
confused because we were talking about the Zoa, and then you're talking about they're going to use the Zoa at Jim's office.
I don't
Oh, my
know.
bad. Yes.
Did
yes.
they talk?
Context,
Did they
Joe,
talk about how
I
they're
know.
going to use it at Jim's office or no?
No, it was a teaser video. It was a teaser. Stay tuned.
Can I?
Badass HVAC.
Can I bring it
whatever.
up? Can I talk about what they're doing or no?
Sure.
I can't
Yeah.
do it. We're gonna get yelled at. I don't think we're supposed to.
Then
I
don't
thought they
talk
put a
about it.
video on
No.
Haven's
What,
YouTube.
Maybe,
what are they
I
gonna do?
don't know.
Cut
I
our
didn't watch it.
sponsorship?
Yeah, no, I think they put a video on Haven, dude. I'm pretty sure.
All right, so I can bring it
Staying
up.
talking about it and stuff.
I'm gonna delete Measure Quick right now just to show 'em.
Oh my god, it's gonna be cool. I think they're gonna do a good job.
Yeah,
They'll give good input.
I want to see. I want to monitor.
I gotta say that, and I'm probably gonna piss off a few people, but I have a little bit of an issue. I wouldn't even say an issue. I
Oh,
think
don't
there's
do
something
it.
that I need. Yeah,
It's
I need to
pepper.
email the powers that be about because when I'm using Measure Quick, the issue that I have is on a lot of package units, they only have a discharge line pressure port.
Good point.
But you can't check subcooling with the discharge pressure because there's typically what I've been measuring lately is there's a 20 to 25 degree pressure drop across the condenser when it goes to the liquid line. So I always say your subcooling numbers are skewed when you're working on TXV systems, you know, and it's so that's something I wish that on Measure Quick you could see discharge pressure and liquid pressure at the same time and be able to toggle between the two.
I agree.
So I think it'd be something cool. But again, I haven't sent the email yet. So
one other thing I wanted to bring up. I think we talked about this a little bit. I'm not sure if it was with you guys or who I was talking to, but I've been looking at, I'm going to refinish my basement, redo all the ductwork, the whole 9 yards. I was going to replace my system too at the same time. And I was kind of debating whether or not I should do a heat pump and a modulating furnace, right? And I was going to do all this air sealing in my attic and try to bring the load of my house way down. I got the blower door now, so it's like testing. Let's try to figure this out. Let's get it as low as I can. But then I was like, all these people are claiming that they're able to install this like low output equipment and everything is so oversized, including manual J. When you're looking at manual J, there's a lot of buffer in there, right? So I was thinking, why don't I install like a 3-ton heat pump or whatever before doing the air sealing and see how far I can push my freaking house.
Sure. I don't see why not.
But is a heat pump cheaper to use or more expensive to use for you?
It's just a game, you know.
It's just for fun.
It's just for
Got
fun.
it.
Just for sure.
Just an experiment.
I like the concept of going to a heat pump. Like I think it'd be cool to get natural gas out of my house as far as like typical or potential carbon monoxide poisoning. But our electricity grid here just sucks. So I can't rely on electric. I could run my furnace off of a generator if it's too cold, you know, if we lose power.
You guys have those low NOx furnaces though, man. Come on.
Yeah, but we still have combustible gases in the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
I don't know. It is a cool idea. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hard being where I'm at to say I'm going to get rid of natural gas and say goodbye to my meter. I think I'm pretty far off from that just because it's, you know, I'm in the Midwest.
Cheap.
I don't know.
It's fucking cheap.
But like my mind has been opened up to heat pumps, I got to tell you. And I'm actually starting to offer them a lot more to people now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You know what?
I think it's a great concept if they're sized right. But that's the thing, you know, what I see a lot here or what happens a lot is people just throw a heat pump or, you know, they may just throw a heat pump and they have crappy duct system. They have an existing line set like that. It has to be designed right from air delivery to refrigerant delivery to, you know, I mean, everything has to be perfect. And
well, that was one thing.
Not, you're going to run into problems.
I had this conversation with Joe, I think on the drive home one day, you know, sometimes we call each other. We talk when we're in traffic. And
I think we all do, yeah.
Super gay.
The thing is,
I don't remember that. So next time you call, what's it called? Bill, make sure you remember save it for Friday or save it for chat because you just said
save it for the show.
Yeah, because it's really fun to type out a full-on fucking conversation in the chat.
right.
I feel left out. Anyways, go on.
But my point is, like, as far as when you brought up airflow with heat pumps,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using it for your primary source of heat, and your heating load is higher than your cooling load,
Yeah.
think of it this way: you still need, you know, your CFM. If you're going off of if you just say 400 CFM per ton, or if you say 350 CFM per ton, that's substantially more than you know, your 95% efficient furnace, which is what 150 CFM for every 10,000 BTUs.
Right.
So you need more airflow.
Well, yeah.
For every ton, you know, for a heat pump versus a gas furnace.
So your units are possibly going to be bigger, right?
Well, it depends. Like that's the thing. That's one thing I'm learning with 2.0 is like everything is oversized. It's like, how oversized is it? That's why I want to play. It's a game. I want to figure it out because like if you can get it down far enough, it doesn't really matter, right? Because if you can get it to a 3-ton range, you're good. But if you're over a 3-ton, you need some serious ductwork. You might need like major modifications, you know?
Yeah.
So
cool.
Well, you know what? Dave K actually says something about he's owned this house 5-stage and AC, and gas furnace modulating. What do you say about modulating gas furnace, Adam? I think you said it the other day. Always?
What do you mean? Modulating gas furnace?
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll tell you, I'm offering more high-end equipment. I'm not even giving people options anymore for single-stage equipment. I just think it's stupid, you know. 2-stage minimum, 2-stage constant torque, and then my next up option is the 2-stage variable, and then modulating. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I agree.
13. Who's sneezing?
I coughed. I tried to pull it down. Did it still pick it up?
Mhm.
Damn it! I muted. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, then that wasn't me. I pulled the mic meter down.
I heard something.
Yeah, I just did it again.
Yeah.
Oh.
That wasn't
Anyways,
me.
go for it in chat. Go for it.
Go
Go
for it.
for it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Send
I
it.
think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So, Joe, we're gonna let you close out the show. So go ahead and give us some final thoughts and tell everybody when they can see us again. Final thoughts with Joe. We're gonna call this segment.
Hey, don't forget, big shout out to Big Clive. Go watch him tomorrow. He's doing a live stream, 4:00 my time, wherever you are. Do the conversion. I don't know what time.
4:00 Eastern. And don't forget Mondays. You'll get more
Shit
shit
stories.
stories from Chris.
Do I?
On his
I've
channel.
never told a shit story on my show.
I know.
The King of Poop Hill.
We have the bad habit of getting everyone's
Shitty side?
their gutter, you know.
Mhm.
They're shitty side, let's say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chris is over.
should
If
change-
this is Chris's show right now, he'd be like, "All right, guys, this is my
you
name
can
is
see
Chris."
here on this chart here in the psychometric chart. If you look at this, the airflow is right behind that.
All right,
But you know what? For the guys I mentioned about reheat coils before the evaporators, just pick up the psychometric chart, bro. Tell me if
I
you want.
got a
after or
question.
before.
I got a
go ahead.
question.
Yeah.
If you could pick one thing, like what is your one thing that you would want for Christmas? No, I'm not going to do that.
Now you got me wondering.
All right, let's wrap this, guys.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Wrap it up,
Wrap it
Adam.
up. You wrap
Push
it
the
up.
button.
who's gonna
Yeah.
push it?
Yeah. You're the only one who can push it, damn it.